Kraken Home Ice is sponsored by Primera Blue Cross, always in your corner.
It's the second and final meeting this season between the Seattle Kraken and the Washington Capitals.
Burakovsky in front, they score! Shane Wright on the doorstep, set up by Andre Burakovsky. Drags it, passes for Eberle, they score! Jordan Eberle with his first goal post-surgery.
The Seattle Kraken and the Montreal Canadiens here in the Emerald City.
In front, they score! Yanni Newman has his first goal in the National Hockey League. Here's done a one-timer, they score! And Matty Beniers gonna stick to it, and the Kraken have tied it. Here it is, Montour, right in, he scores! 5 seconds in, Brandon Montour wins it in overtime. The Seattle Kraken take on the Utah Hockey Club. Golden for Stevenson, they score! It's Silly Tolvanen, bang! With a shot snared by Grubauer's head, and it stays out, it wouldn't go! My goodness, Philip Grubauer off the post, they score! Capo Caco! Hey, hey, what do you say?
The Kraken are coming off last week's big trade deadline and some exciting hockey. It all got started with a big brawl in D.C. against the Capitals. A lot of pushing and shoving that landed 10 players in the penalty boxes. Welcome to Kraken Home Ice. On tonight's episode, we'll get to know the newest member of the Deep, Mikey Eyssimont. General Manager Ron Francis sits down to discuss the big moves made at the trade deadline. And head coach Dan Bylsma tells us about what he has seen from his team since the trade and what he wants to see during the team's upcoming road trip. Sunday was Washington Fight Night at the Kraken Capitals game. At one point, 10 players were in the penalty box at one time. The scoring started with Shane Wright in the first period. The Caps take the lead in the second, but the Kraken answer back. Chandler Stevenson with a great pass, and Jordan Eberle buries it. That was Eberle's first goal post-surgery. With 4:20 to play in the third, Connor McMichael scores a shorthanded tip-in goal to give Washington a 3-2 lead. Then, Alex Ovechkin scores an empty netter. That was his 886th career goal as he chases Wayne Gretzky's record. Caps win it 4-2. Wednesday against Montreal, the Kraken get on the board first when Jordan Eberle taps it to Brandon Montour, who slams it home. In the second period, the puck finds Eeli Tolvanen, and he snaps it in to give the Kraken a 2-0 lead. The Canadiens bounce back with 4 straight goals. Then in the third, Yanni Newman scores in his NHL debut. What made it even more special, his parents flew in from Helsinki to share in the once-in-a-lifetime moment. With just over 2 minutes left, Matty Beniers to the rescue. He gets the Kraken all tied up with a power play goal. Then it's Montour madness in overtime. He scores just 4 seconds in. It's the fastest OT winner in NHL history. Kraken win it 5-4.
It's amazing. It's so special night. The first game, chance to play in the first power play, doing the score. It's unbelievable night. So my mom is crying when I do the score. This moment is so big to my family and for me.
The Kraken find a little luck against Utah Friday. Check out this goal. The puck caroms off the skate of Brandon Montour and into the net. He knows it's a gift, but he'll take it. That goal ties the game at 2. Utah with a blunder here. The puck hits the side of the net. Capo Caco picks it up and stuffs it in. Another break for the Kraken gives them a 3-2 lead. Philip Grubauer makes 22 saves. None better than this one. He stops the puck, fights off the collision, and then leaves his stick on the ice and makes a huge save. The Kraken win it 4-2.
Yeah, a little chaos there at the end, but it was good. Guys are throwing themselves in the shots, and they're blocking shots. So getting pucks out, I think that's the right way, and sometimes you have to play that way. Good win.
Mikey Eyssimont is the newest member of the Deep. Seattle is the 4th stop in his NHL career. Brianna Vasquez talked to the forward about becoming the player he is today.
A journey that started in Colorado has taken Mikey Eyssimont all over the map. Inspired by the Avalanche's first Stanley Cup win during their first year in Denver, Eyssimont had his eyes set on the ice.
Yeah, Avs won the Cup in '96. I was born in '96. Not coming from a hockey family. Hockey kind of blew up there. I started rollerblades when I was like 3 years old and played roller hockey till I was about 13. Picked up ice when I was like 7.
Just 4 seconds into the man advantage, Eyssimont unassisted.
From Colorado, he went to Fargo, then Sioux Falls to play junior ice hockey. When it came to college, he played at St. Cloud State in Minnesota.
Comes across to Eyssimont, takes the shot, scores!
Eyssimont was drafted in 2016 by the Kings, but made his NHL debut when he was signed as a free agent by the Winnipeg Jets in 2021. From there, it was off to San Jose, then Tampa Bay, and ultimately Seattle on March 5th, where Mikey fit right in, scoring in his first game.
They score, Mikey Eyssimont out in front. Mikey Eyssimont with his first goal.
Meeting the team on the road, it was a good opportunity to kind of get to know everyone in a more intimate setting. We're always together on the road.
When it was finally time to play at Climate Pledge, Mikey got a warm welcome from the Kraken faithful.
I've always loved playing in that arena, so to be on the other side of things, it was honestly pretty special moment. That win too was big.
On the ice, Eyssimont is known for creating havoc.
Eyssimont, Kanan is there, everybody in.
He's a skilled and aggressive player who creates problems for his opponents. But he wasn't always like that. When Mikey was playing in the AHL, he had a coach tell him he wasn't going to get by with skill alone.
Well, he didn't say it so nicely.
Mikey knew something needed to change if he wanted to reach his goal of the NHL.
He made it clear to me that I had to add some elements to my game to become a good pro and a good NHL player. And I think being able to take that coaching from coach to others got me to where I am today.
Charlie Lindgren wants a piece of Mikey Eyssimont.
Fast forward to his 4th year in the league with his 4th team. Mikey is a well-respected menace on the ice, known for getting into the heads of other players.
It's part of my game. Still trying to build other elements. Hopefully I'll get more of an opportunity to do that here.
Eyssimont with a shot to the back of Marino.
Mikey joining the team is just one addition to come out of the NHL trade deadline. Next on Kraken Home Ice, we'll dive into the trade decisions with General Manager Ron Francis. And we're highlighting the unsung heroes of the Kraken. We introduce you to the member of the Deep who helps bring the sport of hockey to local schools.
Assist of the Week is sponsored by Primera Blue Cross, always in your corner.
Everly to the point. Montour does a good job to trap it in front. They score!
The assist of the week goes to Captain Jordan Eberle. Ebbs was responsible for 3 assists in Wednesday's win against Montreal. First, he set up Brandon Montour for the first goal of the night. Then in the second period, he assisted Eeli Tolvanen to help the Kraken get the lead. And in the third, he provided a helper for Yanni Newman's first NHL goal. Wednesday was the captain's first 3-point game of the season. It was a productive trade deadline for the Kraken. They traded for an impressive stockpile of draft picks as well as a plethora of prospects at the AHL level. And they also created significant cap space. We talked to General Manager Ron Francis about his plans to improve the team. Now the trade deadline has come and gone, Ron. What did you like about how things played out for this team?
Yeah, I don't think you ever want to be in a situation where you have to move players out at the deadline. Ideally, you're looking to add to make your team better for a playoff run. So that part was frustrating under the circumstances, though. We looked at where we were, and with 3 of the 4 guys we moved were on expiring contracts, and whether we could sign them or not in the summer was a bit of a gamble, and if not, then you lose them for nothing. So being able to move those players out and get back returns like we did, we think we're very pleased with. We now sit with 5 first-round picks, 5 second-round picks in the next 3 drafts. As I said before, it's not to hopefully draft 10 players, it's hopefully to package some of those picks and go out and try and acquire some players and make our team better quicker.
Well, you're talking about this present-day team. What's the main characteristic that you like about this team?
I think when we look at the lineup, that's a piece we can do a better job of is scoring goals. There's a lot of nights we outchance teams. Expected goals are probably in our favor, but we end up winning the hockey game. So we got to find a way to get more goals in our line.
Talk about future Kraken players. We talked about some of these young guys you've drafted last summer. Berkeley Catton, your number 1 pick, 32 points in a span of 10 games. I know he's really turning some heads. Is there any way to fast track a 19-year-old to the NHL, or do you just have to work naturally?
Well, I mean, our player development staff is doing that. They're having conversations with him. We're trying to work with him off ice this season, even while he's playing in junior, to make sure we're trying to get him stronger. Once his season is done, we will get him into Coachella Valley, get him around the players in the AHL and see what that's like, see how hard they work, get him in the gym training, and that'll kick him off for the summer. But based on what he's doing, he's going to make it tough for us, next September, which is what we want. We want to come in, hopefully he has a real good camp. If that goes well, then we have up to like 9 games to make a decision on him. So, if things are going well, we would give him those 9 games, and then ultimately we have to make a decision whether we keep him or return him to junior, because he's not allowed to go to the American Hockey League next year because he's still junior eligible.
Is that one of the biggest things when you get these teenagers and you work them in the NHL? I know Matty Beniers was pretty light when he came in, and you want them to put on some muscle. Is that one of the top things?
Yeah, I mean, the big difference for us in a lot of other sports is we're drafting these kids at 18, right? And if they're a junior kid or a college kid, we really can't get them under our umbrella for like 2 years or 4 years in college or 4 years in Europe potentially. So it takes a while for us to get them and get the strength on them and the development it takes to do that. But we're at the point now where we're starting to see some of those benefits, right? Matty Beniers and Riker Evans, Ty Karche was a free agent signing, Shane Wright, Yanni Newman, Melanson last week, Winterton earlier in the year. So Catton, down the road. So a lot of this is starting to bubble now, which is exciting for us.
Okay, lastly, put the crystal ball out there. You look at this team, the offseason is just around the corner. Can you give me a priority for you as you go into the offseason for this team?
Scoring. We got to find a way to get more goals, and I think if we can do that, especially 5-on-5 power play, any way we can accommodate that, I think that would be a big boost for us. As I said, some of it we think might happen internally with guys like Newman coming in and potentially Catton. But now that we've made these moves, I want to emphasize again, it wasn't just to cut costs and move money aside. We freed up in essence about $20 million of cap space. So our plan is to go out into the free agent market, hopefully find somebody there to sign. If we're not able to do that, maybe there's trades that become available before the draft. We can move some of this draft capital we accumulated to make those trades to make our team stronger. But goal scoring would be a priority. We got to find a way to be able to score more goals.
Now McCann, he scores!
Up next, head coach Dan Bylsma on what he's liked about his team on this homestand and how the squad's adjusted since last week's big trades. And in this week's shootout, the players react to their favorite flavor. Ice cream is the topic next on Kraken Home Ice.
Hey guys, it's Matty Beniers from the Seattle Kraken. I'm here at Starbucks making drinks and taking orders, so come on in and join me. How are you?
Just like all of us.
Yep. Brown sugar shaken espresso. All right, blonde 3, right?
Yes, blonde 3.
2 pumps of
the brown sugar.
scoop of ice.
Yeah, shake it 10 times.
1. Yeah, it's pretty good. Maybe I'll switch my drink. All right, these are for the puppies. Alrighty, here you go. Absolutely. Thanks for coming. Let's go Kraken.
Well, how'd it go?
Not bad, it's fun. I enjoyed myself.
Also a big fan of coffee is head coach Dan Bylsma. Now that the trade deadline is come and gone, we talked to Dan about the overall vibe in the locker room now that players know they'll be here for the rest of the season.
I think trade deadline is a anxious time, I'll say, or one where every player, regardless of their situation, gives some thought to and some angst to, I'll say, and not only for themselves but for the team as well, what direction the team is going to go. And I think once the trade deadline comes and goes, there's a sense of finality that this is the group we're going forward with for the rest of the year. And so I, from myself and from the team standpoint, use the deadline as a determining, like, okay, now let's go do something with the rest of the year. Let's go. This is who we got. This is the group we're going to do it with.
At this point in the season, 15 games left, what is your message to the team?
I think the message, and coming from the group and coming from myself, is we want to play our best hockey going down the stretch here. We don't feel like we've done that at this point. That's a big disappointment. But we want to make sure that with the last remaining games here, 15 now, that this group and this team is playing their best hockey, comes together as a team for each other and for the team and for the fans, and playing our best hockey down the stretch.
And with a game like Wednesday night, overtime win, what is that like?
I think it's huge, but I would go back to, the deadline happened and we played in Philly the next day, and then Washington, and I think how we've played, how we've battled, how we've competed is a clear message as to how we want this season to play out.
Tolvanen with a shot, he scores!
The Montreal game is no different. It was a lot of good in the game. We had a great first period. We're hitting, I think, 4 posts in the first period. We get up in the game. We get up by another goal in the second. Quickly, they answered with a few goals, and the group had to respond. The group had a decision to make as to how we were going to finish that game, and they battled back as a team, and 2 power play goals, a 6-on-4 goal to tie the game up, and then set the stage for a historic quick goal in overtime.
Here it is, Montour, right in, he scores! Hey, what do you say? 5 seconds in!
Just accenting the comeback, accenting the compete of the team.
Wednesday was also Yanni Newman's first game. You've had a few players that have made their rookie game. What has that been like seeing as a coach?
It's a special moment for the player. It's a first, and playing in the National Hockey League, it's a special moment, one they're never going to forget. There's a ton of things that they're going to remember about the day, from getting the call up to your lap, your solo lap, not wearing your helmet in warm-ups. To the experience of the first game it's a special moment, not just for the player. It's a special moment for family. It's a special moment for everybody, coaches that have been a part of the journey for the player. And so, as a coach, it's a special moment for me as well, to see the development of Yanni, where they've come from, how they've improved, and a chance to do it at the National Hockey League level. And so it's special for everybody.
In front, they score! Yanni Newman has his first goal in the National Hockey League.
Any new player that comes to Seattle has to get used to the weather. And come rain or shine, it's always a good time for ice cream. In this week's shootout, we talked to the players about their favorite ice cream flavors.
Chocolate chip cookie dough, Ben & Jerry's, automatic.
Vanilla?
Cookie dough.
Ice cream? I will say it's hard to say because my kids take the chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and after like a half they told me like, hey, I don't want it anymore, and I need to eat everything, but I would say like the strawberry.
Loose tracks.
Usually like salted caramel.
Coffee. Ice cream flavor. Oh, chocolate.
Oreo.
Friday was the Kraken's Women in Hockey Night. Just ahead on Home Ice, the artist behind the night's specialty jersey tells us about her inspiration for the reimagined logo. Friday was Women in Hockey Night at Climate Pledge Arena. It was a night to honor all the amazing women in the game, especially with the Kraken, from assistant coach Jessica Campbell to analyst Allison Lucan to broadcaster Piper Shaw. A lot of women have helped make the Kraken the team they are today. A big part of Women in Hockey Night was the custom jerseys. The reimagined design was created by Marisol Ortega. She is a first-generation Mexican-American designer and illustrator. She draws inspiration from the many strong women in her life, including her mom, daughters, and grandmother. She wants to inspire others and hopes someone sees themselves in her artwork. The reimagined logo and anchor are designed to look like the pottery Ortega often saw at her grandma's house growing up.
She was a farmer. She grew her own things, and there was so much pottery, the terracotta pottery, and then these flowers. But it wasn't just the flowers. She would grow corn stalks in there, everything. And so it was really, really the essence, I guess, of wow, that's such a strong pot. And she kept reusing them over and over again, and they last forever. And so it's wow, you hold the roots, but then you're also growing this delicious food or beautiful flowers. And I just felt that really symbolized women and how we are strong.
When it comes to the Kraken, the spotlight often shines brightest on the athletes. But there's another part of the team you don't see that helps make it all possible. King 5's St. Brian shows us one of the unsung heroes.
It's game day for the Seattle Kraken's Tyler DeLoach. Her home ice? Anywhere new hockey fans can be made.
We're in charge of making sure that Kraken fans have a great experience. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it.
Tyler is the manager of fan development. Today, she's getting help from players Mitchell Stevens and Cale Fleury, and one very famous troll.
So we are at Stanislaw Elementary, and we are doing a school visit. We'll do an all-school assembly with 2 of our players and Bowie. All right, this is what we're gonna do. The best part of my job is getting to do things like this. I've been around hockey since I was about 6, so this sport is really, really important to me. And we want to make sure that everybody who has the opportunity to watch hockey or play hockey can do it.
What was your hardest game and why?
And so I also think it's really important for representation. I love being a female of color in hockey, and making sure that especially little girls get to see me and they can also be involved and know that they can either play the sport or work in the sport as well.
The kids get some swag and the conversion is complete. The Kraken fan base has grown by exactly 1 elementary school.
And I love this so much.
Finally, the team plays a game Stanislaw Elementary is known for. It's called the impossible shot. The object, just get the ball in the tube. And Cale Fleury gets the goal. A spectacular shot. But he's not the only one who scored today. Every smile from every new Kraken fan here puts a point on the board. And that's a win for everyone.
Coming up at Climate Pledge Arena next week, it's March Madness, the first and second rounds of the NCAA men's basketball tournament, March 21st and 23rd. The Kraken wrap up their 3-game homestand Sunday against the Jets. It'll be Brandon Tanev's first trip back to Seattle since being traded to Winnipeg. And that'll do it for this episode of Kraken Home Ice. Thank you for looking in. We'll see you next week.
Kraken Home Ice is sponsored by Primera Blue Cross.